That's the Thursday night salute, guys. Welcome. My name is Daddy Alex. This is Thursday Big Show. Thank you. I always say we all need a portable. We all need a portable little applause button. All of us. We all need one. We're in Starbucks. We get our coffee. Applause. Applause. Woohoo. Yeah, there's trailers out. A couple of trailers. Spiderman and Dune 3. That's going to be the real focus of this show. And you know what? They both look pretty good. I mean, Spider-Man, these are going to be two really good movies. If you're going by the trailer and if you're going by the setup, there's a lot of moving parts to Dune 3. And I think Denis Villeneuve, with the amount of stuff, the amount of, that's in Frank Herbert's books, and I think he's doing a pretty good job capturing all that stuff, Look, as a screenwriter, when you're adapting something, it's hard. It's hard to get, especially a book like that, to take, because you can't put it all in. So someone's going to be disappointed, especially if there's like traditionalists. Oh, they should have put this in. It's kind of like, there's actually something I'm going to talk about that later in the show. This whole idea of, you want to take the source material and make sure that you are honoring that source material. Otherwise, what's the point of, if you're going to mess up all the source material, what's the point of doing it? But you also have to write the story, because a comic or a book or whatever it is very different than what a movie's going to be, right? Very different. So you got to, and so I think, I love Dune 1 and I love the second one. This one, Dune 3, well, we're going to take a look at the trailer, so we'll see what you guys think. And we're going to jump into One Piece. The ratings are out. That's in our third segment, One Piece. And it's kind of, it's an interesting, I liked it much better than the first season. I finished it, all the episodes, and it really goes like the whole One Piece thing and the entire Netflix way that they release their whole binge theory. It just seems like the stupidest way to do it, because now basically it's been 2 weeks and people are basically, people are not talking about it anymore. Let me fix my chair up. There we go. That's better. So if you release everything and everyone's just going to binge it, you lose all that conversation. Otherwise, it could have been, 8 to 10, 12 weeks. People are talking about it, where they're milking the thing. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but you know what? That's their gig. They seem to be doing pretty good, but I do think they could probably be doing a lot better. They probably could. And then at the end, our fourth segment, the grab bag, right down there, a little bit of a grab bag, a little bit talking about a little bit of everything. A couple of thoughts that I have and that I'd like to talk about, but I do want to. Oh, and Project Hail Mary. I don't know if you guys, it is out. Oh, geez, I'm gonna spill a little bit of wine. I got a little bit of a headache today. So I only have a little bit of red wine today, just not too much, just a little bit. You know how red wine and headaches tend to magnify themselves. So, but cheers, Thursday night Big Show. Thanks for stopping in. Ooh, maybe that might help my headache. Who knows? But the one thing about Project Hail Mary, the whole budget, when you take marketing and everything into account, you're looking at a movie that's basically going to be pushing, after credits, $300 million. So we need $600 million at the box office. Projections, if we take a look at the projections, let me punch this up here, because I do have them. It kind of, Project Hail Mary, there we go. Let's share that baby. Let's take this and move it up there. Let's take this. Stop sharing. Did I start? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Go like that. There we go. We got it. So if you... How did I get that? Sorry, guys. Let me fix this up just a little wee bit. Come on. There we go. I make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. So this is the key box office projections for Project Hail Mary. Now, I was actually going to go see it this weekend. I'm still hoping to. But I've had this kind of like half cold, something that's coming on. I'll see how I feel. If not, I'll see it the next weekend. But the opening weekend, domestic, the estimates have risen from initial 45 to 55 million, but that was like a few weeks ago before we really had some of these reviews, the early people to 60 to 78 million. With some forecasts placing it as high as 70 to 78 million. Now, this movie needs it. Because of the huge budgets. You get huge budgets. So the film is projected to be over 100 million worldwide. I mean, if it only does 30 or 40 million in the international market, I mean, I think that would be disappointing. That'd be really disappointing. You want to at least match your domestic, if not, 1.2 to 1.5 times your domestic take. So we'll see. But the total gross potential, early projections suggest a potential total domestic gross box office of between 150 to 235 million. So, you know what? If you get a threefold off of your opening weekend, which is pretty standard, it's breaking even. So if it's on the lower end, so that's what we got to see. If it's on the lower end, there's going to be lose. But I honestly feel it's going to be to the mid to higher end. So I think it's going to be doing around 200 million, 200 to 225 opening weekend. Break even, gross 500 million to break even. That's not correct. It was $248 million budget. Pre-tax credits in the UK, $200 million after-tax credits. You have to add $100 million in marketing. Double it, 'cause it's a 50-50 take. It's $600 million. These people always get this stuff wrong. They always under-project, or else they just don't count the $100 million bucks that goes into marketing. I guess it's just magic money that they spend on marketing. But no, it's going to be 600 million. But there's also other costs in there, right? That go beyond just those. But those usually get put into the selling, general, administrative, and things like that. But nor do we ever know. We don't ever really know what the exact budget is, because they move costs around. They are not, even a public company, they are not obligated to provide any financial information from a micro perspective. Zero whatsoever. So, but that is, so that is what we, project, because the box office, if we take a look at the box, we did go over it. When did we go over on Thursday? I'll do box office mojo. I mean, if you take a look at how do I want to do this? Let me do yearly 2026. If you take a look now, you got to take Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Zootopia were last year's movies. So if you take a look and you take them out, you have no movie over 200 million domestic. Scream at 110 million. Hoppers, 100 million. Goat, 93 million. Wuthering Heights, 82. The Housemaid, 126 million. And then, of course, it just goes down from there. It has been a terrible, and there haven't been too many good movies. I don't know if there's been really, there are some biggies. Now, Spiderman, Brand New Day is the last Marvel movie before Doomsday. So we get this one, and then we're waiting a long time for Doomsday, right? So there isn't, there's a few, there are a few big ones, of course the summer box office has to have some big movies, but it's been a pretty bad, it's been a pretty bad 2026 so far. It's really the only way you can put it. Pretty bad 2026. So Project Hail Mary will hopefully be the first movie that breaks $200 million at the domestic office and maybe breaks $500 million on the worldwide combined. That would be Go gadget box office, right? Go get them. Go get them. So I want to know if you guys are going to go see Project Hail Mary. I'm going to try, see if I can't shake my headache. Oh, I have a headache. Maybe it's a tumor. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. It's not. It's not. Could be. I don't know. Could be. And you know what? The Iran thing. The Iran thing is sucking a lot of air out of everything, out of YouTube, out of people's attention. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. It is the stupidest thing. I'm telling you, man. My little 2-minute commentary. Again, I will reiterate. This is the stupidest thing Trump has done. The stupidest thing. This is like, you can't even measure stupid. Like there's no level of stupid on this. It's not even a policing action. It's a freaking war. All because of our best friend in the Middle East, Israel. Like, holy jeez. It's like a friend. It's like a friend that gets, every time you go out with your friend, you go to a bar, and every night you go out, you get into a bar fight and you get your ass handed to you. Well, I mean, not your ass handed to you, but you get some really good bruises. And every night you go out with the same friend, you're like, okay, I don't want to go out with this. You know, I'm starting to get a little bit sick and tired of going out with this guy because he always gets me into a fight. And this one, the worst thing is, and having worked on Wall Street for 8 or 9 years, if you ask me, Iran's holding all the cards. They're holding all of the cards. They got nothing to lose. They prepared for this. I mean, the economic damage is just started. You think prices are high now? Well, you just wait. I mean, so it's sucking up a lot of the air out of the room. It fatigues people. It does all these things. But you know what? Hopefully it's over soon. Fucking the war, you know. It won't even make a good movie, right? It won't even make a good movie. What do you, I mean, forget about it. Guys, Spider-Man. Let me remove this from my stop screen there. Now, I actually uploaded downloaded the trailer off of, I wonder if that's going to be, oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Worked out good. Okay, so so this is Spider-Man. Probably got, you know what? They have been copywriting everybody with this stuff. Everybody. So we'll see. If there's a big blank space on the recorded part, I apologize. That's because they copyrighted me. But anyway, this is I think there's some really interesting things in this trailer. So let's take a look at it.
I can't believe our first hit MIT.
Oh, and it's a classic way to start Spider-Man, right? Upside down. You're sitting on that girder. I don't know how many stories high. Looks like he's freaking high. That's like 80 or 90 stories or something, isn't it? 70 or 80 stories. Upside down. And remember, so the key setup with this is, you remember Doctor Strange, at the request of Peter Parker, he cast that spell so people forgot about him, right? So he didn't place his friends in danger and whatnot. So this starts off that way. So basically he's living his life. I think one of the last things that we saw was Peter Parker walk into that that dingy kind of apartment in New York City. And you would think, like, God, Spider-Man's got so many freaking friends. I guess did the Avengers forget about him too? I mean, someone like, do you think Tony Stark, hey man, I'll at least flip you a few bucks to fit into the yeah. Oh, hey, Ben Feister. I'm well. How about yourself? Another Spider-Man film. If it doesn't have J.K. Simmons, I'm not watching it. It looks pretty good. Oops, what happened here? It looks pretty good. I always have a habit of leaving comments on the screen. But so this is where it starts out. It's Spider-Man. He's sort of you get kind of he's bummed out. Let's make lemonade.
MJ, come on, pretend like you're not the happiest you've ever been in your entire life.
I can't.
The other thing too to notice is he's in the cloth Spider-Man suit, right? He's in the cloth one, so he doesn't have the Tony Stark Uber. The Tony Stark Spider. He's back into the cloth Spider-Man. Back to again. It's cool to always bring the character back to their roots, and so that's the setup. And here, so this is an interesting shot. And I'll tell you why it's interesting. And there's been a few people talking about this shot, and I think it achieves two things. So here we see Spider-Man falling off this, 800 feet high, and we see like inside the Iron Man suit, right? We see basically the eyes. The eyes always can tell us what does that little eye motion tell us. First off, what it told me was, here you have a guy falling off. He's falling. Like, one of the scariest things about why it all scares us. Falling. We know falling is going to be instant death, right? We know it's death. You're not going to survive a 700-foot fall. So the fact that and that one little, like he's bored, right? His little eye motion goes up. It just signifies that this guy is bored, and this shit doesn't scare him. It just reinforces that superhero idea, but it also reinforces the fact that this is a guy who is living isolated. He's bored. And the fact that a 600, 700, 800-foot fall he's still bored. It doesn't change his disposition. It just reinvigorates the whole idea that Spider-Man is like, I've never seen, like, if you've watched any Spider-Man, he takes damage. He never gets hurt, right? He never gets hurt. The guy is he's got like Hulk power, right? He takes a beating. It doesn't matter who's pounding on him. He still gets, I mean, like, seriously, I think they've really got to like change, like, be a little bit more accurate with their powers on like the fandom page. Spidey, the guy is really freaking hard to kill, okay? You're not going to kill him. You better come on your A game to kill this motherfucker.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it.
There he's getting the key to the city. And I think in Daredevil, he got the key to the city too from what's his name, right? And word is that Daredevil is going to be in this movie. That's what that
was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
you can't kill the fucker, right? There's nothing you could like. But anyway, this part's actually funny.
What the hell, Frank? You just hit me with a van.
Put your whip rate. Suit yourself.
Now, I've like, stop right there. One of my problems is, I like the Punisher. I like the Punisher, but he's just a human being. He has no, and I checked in all the fandom lore, trying to find something that maybe he got some sort of superhero, super serum juice, something. He's not. He's 100% human who is basically uses his skills as the Navy SEAL. What was he, a Ranger, on top of his aggression and anger? Look, and it's kind of the problem. If you're Spider-Man and you know this guy's a human being, he's dead. Like, his chest is crushed in. Like, I just kind of sometimes think, give the Punisher something. Someone slipped something into his coffee at Starbucks. I think like John Bernthal, he does a fucking great job. But I tell you, if a regular human being took that, through the windshield. I just the way that the superheroes are going in Marvel and DC. Oh, Ben, actually I did Ben Feister. I did a video. Oh, hey, Pamela. Pamela's in the house. I love me some Marvel. I'll be straight up. Interesting. I'll be straight up. Spider-Man is, in general, is a meh superhero. For me, I don't hate it, nor do I love it. Spider-Man for me fits into the popcorn hero film category. Interesting. Yeah, that's the thing is. That's the subjective thing behind that. We all get the opinion, right? If for whatever reason it doesn't fire us. I like Spider-Man. When I was a kid, oh, hey, Mike. When I was a kid, I grew up in the 70s as a little kid with the cartoon. Remember that cartoon where he's running and he's kind of slipping on the floor, and they kind of, use the same. I have always liked Spider-Man. I do not like this massive expansion that they've got all these multiple Spider-Men, Spider-Women, the what's his name, Morales, all that. Is it good? It's pretty good. But when you start diluting, like, Spider-Man is the most diluted character. And they're just going to keep diluting him to the point where I that's what's frustrating for me. For me, there's only one Spider-Man, and his name is Peter Parker. That's it. That is it. One Spider-Man, and his name is Peter Parker. But to my point, with the Punisher, I have got to do something about the airflow in my new studio. It's no good. It's not good. But with the Punisher, even Hawkeye, although Hawkeye is getting much more powerful arrows, Natasha Romanoff, the superheroes are becoming so powerful, so godlike. You got to give these guys like Punisher, the fact that they're walking in as human beings. Batman is still a little different. There's always going to be something about Batman. Always. That allows him to be human. And the fact that, but I don't, so some of these characters, like I say, someone should have slipped a little bit of something into Punisher's drink. It, how do you get his powers? Well, someone just, did a, he was buying a double latte, Frappo, Venti, whatever the hell you get at Starbucks. I'm not a big fan of Starbucks, so. But anyway, that would kill the guy instantly. Like, instantly. Spider-Man coming in at 100 miles an hour through the windshield, knocks him out, but he's still fucking alive. At least he's got to have Captain America shit going on, right? For me, it ruins the believability.
Go
but
home.
I love.
And sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart. What is happening to me?
I don't know what you guys think. I mean, it's almost like I'd want to do a survey. Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I like the Tobey Maguire when it comes out of his wrists, right? When it actually becomes part of his power. To me, it's more believable. When they've got these human constructed, it's hard for me to buy into it. It's easier for me to buy into this web slinging if it's a part of the superpower. Oh, I should be. What am I doing? Just realized I should have it there. There we go. And it's another little personal thing for me with Spider-Man. I prefer the Tobey Maguire where it's part of his thing, right? It's part of his. But anyway, we'll move on. And there's some interesting things that are going on with Peter Parker. in this movie. He looks pretty good, eh? He's worked out for his wedding. You know, he worked out.
Excuse me, Dr. Banner. I need your help.
What did you say your name was?
There we go, Dr. Banner. Dr. Banner. Are you a fan of the Dr. Banner? He's as woke as they come in Hollywood. That's about as woke as they come, my friends. They better, I tell you, man, they better get rid of Smart Hulk. Just get rid of Smart. Whatever you do, get rid of frickin' Smart Hulk. I like angry. The angrier I get, the more shit that gets broke Hulk. And I get it, though. It's a hard character, just like Superman. It's a hard character because when Hulk gets unleashed, you better have a antagonist that is equal to him, just like Superman, just like Dr. Manhattan. Hey, Dr. Manhattan. Hey, Ben Feister. Oh, Dr. Man, you want to screw around with... Who's the toughest guy in the street? Dr. frickin' Manhattan. That's what's going on.
If DNA is mutating, it would be enormously dangerous.
Spiders have 3 life cycles. When between cycles, it can leave the spider vulnerable to threats.
And that's the whole premise is there's a change. And look, change is what makes characters compelling. You can't have the same character over and over and over again. And so this was in one of the comics. Again, I'm one of these guys. I'm not huge into any of the lores. I'm not like big time where I get into, I know every single one. I know a lot of the lores quite well, but I'm from the writing perspective, right? To me, give me a character that is 50% lore ready, but one hell of a screenplay, right? I don't need the full-on lore. Change it up. I don't need shit from the 1940s. I don't. As long as it's good, but that's the skill of the screenwriter. You need to make that movie, keeping the character, like the nuts and bolts of that character, but they do have to develop, right? And that's the balance between for the hardcore fans. And I think they might, because this is more of I think a modern comic that they took this brand new day from.
We are faced with a danger that we can't control. One we can't even see. Stay out of my way.
You're losing it, kid.
And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a kind of...
Oh, was that Daredevil?
Amounts to a kind of...
No, that's not Daredevil. No, see the black eyes? Did you see Spidey's black eyes? There's theories on that. There's theories.
Rebirth.
And again, and
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're housewarming.
I'm MJ.
I'm just a neighbor from across the hall.
Friendly neighbor.
friendly. Interestingly enough, so two big trailers, Dune and Spider-Man, and Zendaya's in both of them. Now I know there's people that don't like Zendaya. I don't mind her. I think she's fine in Spider-Man, and I think she's fine in Dune. I don't think she takes away from anything in Dune. I do agree. I disagree with people. I think you don't get to where you are and have that kind of appeal unless you got something that's appealing to audiences. I do not mind Zendaya. I think she does create she does add chemistry, and obviously the fact that they are getting. I think I'm not sure if they're married already. Tom Holland and Zendaya I don't think they're married, but it kind of tells you, Tom Holland. It tells you something about someone. Tom Holland is about down to earth as you get. Right? It's about as down to earth as you can get for a guy. Even though he's a movie star, he's Spider-Man, but he's about as down to earth. He's not like tall, dark, and he's handsome, but he's kind of just an average dude kind of thing. And the fact that Zendaya is, it kind of says something. She's less shallow than she is what some people might think. That's just my perspective. But I got nothing bad to say about Zendaya. I don't. I think there's some talent there. More talent than I got, that's for sure. So where are we here? Mike in the house saying, what up? Hope you had a good day, my friend. What's up, Bam Bam? Saying some hi, sipping on some peach crown. Really, Pamela? Really? Okay, all right. Ben Feister, I love Frank Castle, Punisher, but guys like John Wick, Jason Bourne, James Bond, Rambo, etc. would take out Frank Castle very quickly. That's a good point. And it goes to my point where the Punisher, look, you are not going to have Spider-Man swing at 100 miles per hour with that kind of inertia, go through the front windshield, hit the Punisher as he's driving, knock the seat off the floor, through the back, and and he's still alive. He would be. You can't do that without giving him something. Insert super duper juice into him. And I get where they came. It's why they have, certain superheroes fight each other. I think I love the character. I do. I think there's a anyway, so you know what I'm talking about. The gang is all here. What's up, Mike? Mike agrees with the yes, there's only one Spider-Man, but there's only one James Jonah Jameson. And that's J.K. Simmons. You know what? When I was watching the trailer, I actually thought to myself, I have to mention that. I have to mention that because for me, there's only one JJJ. There's only one. There's only one. And I do believe he is returning. J. Jonah Jameson. J. Jonah JJ. John Bernthal. Tom Holland's let me is oh my god, I cannot spell. Yes, he is returning, or at least that's what Google is saying. So yes, he is. Yeah, there is only one. Absolutely, there is only one J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah. Agreed. Well, Batman's a lot smarter and a lot richer than the Punisher, and he's got the explanation with the suit. And look, if that happened to Batman, that is so much punishment. The inertia, the utter power. You could do the physics, and you could punch it all out and see how much force and energy would go into someone's chest. Oh my god! That would bend metal. Batman is There's something. So he can afford proper gear for the ridiculous stunts. Yeah, the Batsuit is supposed to be something, And then, of course, Batman and the real hardcore Batman people, they'd say, well, just as Spider-Man would about to hit him, Batman would probably just turn sideways, so it would just, glance him, and that's the it's like Tony Stark putting a fusion nuclear power plant into his chest. Well, Tony would figure it out. Tony would figure it out. That's why. He might. If you could just look up the best of James Jonah Jameson on YouTube. Oh, the best movie moments? Well, it's 24 minutes long. Wait a sec. Yeah, that's the 24 minutes long. I mean, that way, that's definitely a copyright. Ding, ding, copyright. Yeah, no, that's there's only one. There's only one JJ. There's only one JJ. He's the worst Hulk of all by far. I mean, there really hasn't been too many, right? You've had the Bill Bixby, and then what's his name? I mean, the Incredible Hulk. I didn't mind the Incredible Hulk. I actually liked that Hulk. I thought that Hulk was pretty intense. What's his name? He got it. I guess there was a big argument. The one before that, I didn't like the first one, or the Edward Norton, right? Edward Norton. I liked. (2003). What was the Abana, right? What was his name? Abana. It was a little goofy, right? There was a little. I couldn't. Eric Bana. I don't know why I couldn't remember his first name. Eric Bana and Edward Norton. I didn't mind Edward Norton. I didn't mind the story, and I liked the Hulk better than what's his name. Well, I'm a big lore guy, so I know you are, but it's that trade-off, right? So, my mind as a writer is almost always premised on story, and you can have, if you got a great story, and you could get 90% of the normies. 90% of the normies aren't going to know the deep lore. They know the surface level stuff. I know the surface level stuff, and then a chunk underneath. Maybe in some stuff like Star Trek and maybe a few other ones, I go a little bit deeper. But I'm a writer, so my focus is always on the writing side. And that's why I do like, jumping in there and catching Nerdrotic dude, Gary Beekler. Because he's got the comic stuff. I learn. I'm not going to start reading pages and pages of comics, right? It's better for me to learn off someone who knows more than me, a lot more than me. And so I think, so I'm a writer. I come from the writing side, and that's where my view is always going to come. A kick-ass screenplay that doesn't do full service to the lore will look. 90% of the normies go see it. It'll do $1 billion. There's a fine line. So I totally get it, and I appreciate. But I think your zest for Star Trek is probably like this with starships and things like that. Like, I'm with you. I'm down. I love like the whole, how all of these starships and different franchises are all put together. Yes, the Venom thing. That's correct, Ben Feister. It could be the Venom. And now there's some rumors about the Venom. Yeah, they got married like 2 weeks ago. They got married. Oh, geez. You know what? That's good. You know what? To Zendaya and Tom. Zendaya's not. You want to know what pain in the ass is? Like if Zendaya was the kind of girl that had to date the quarterback, had to date the captain of the hockey team of the Los Angeles Kings, she had to, but she's not like that, right? It says a lot about somebody. Tom Holland is not a 6'2" model, He's just a down-to-earth little dude. Freaking great personality. I mean, I'd probably love going out with a drink with him. So, and that says something about Zendaya. I think it does. Zendaya's done nothing that makes me, but I know there's people, like I listen to, some of the guys on Friday Night Tights, right? I mean, they're like, if I was there, I'd be like, sorry, man, I'll put up, I'll stand up for her. But that's what you need. You need different opinions. You just can't all circle jerk around and say the same thing. Oh, that's real fun. That's real fun. And that's what makes it great, right? Different, people that just have, different opinions, just like all of us do. And that's fucking awesome, right? Got my apple crown, Pamela, peach and apple crown. Well, Thursday night big show. Well, I got I only had a little bit of wine today because I got a little bit of a headache the last couple of days that is not going away. But it is going away now. Maybe the wine is helping, right? Den Feister, for me, I'm in this camp. If the character is written or established as a white, black, Hispanic character, the cast should reflect the established lore. I love Lawrence Fishburne, but not as Perry White. I agree with, I agree with you with 90% of it. Sometimes it happens where it kind of works out okay, or it feels seamless or whatever, but I totally get it. Totally get it. Because try and go the other way, and I think it diminishes, or they get feminized, or like, they get turns into a female from a guy. There are a lot of good female characters you can pull up without sex changing a character. But I think one of the worst ones, and I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Like I'm not. I've tried to get into Harry Potter. I'm going to try and watch the third one. Try to see like none of the Harry Potter. I hate. I don't know what you guys think about Harry Potter, but it's hard for me to get into it. But I do. I think it's like Black Aragorn, right? Look, even most of the the black dudes who are into the lore, even they say that, like, are you fucking kidding me? It usually does not work, but what's his name? Snade? What's the guy's name that they turned one of the main antagonists? They turned into they race swapped him. That's not going to work. I don't know if this offends someone. I want redhead Ginger as Mary Jane in Spiderman again. I'm not going to offend anybody. I don't think that shit shouldn't offend anybody. If we cannot talk about this openly. We just cannot talk about it. Our society is in a lot more trouble than just a little stupid war with Iran, right? If we cannot talk about whether we like Mary Jane as a traditional redhead, or someone says, well, I would really like her as an African-American, okay, that might be your opinion, but you're going to get some pushback on it. You are allowed to have an opinion. You will get pushback, okay? But if we can't discuss this shit, right? I think we'll all agree, everybody, if we cannot discuss it by the very fact that we mention hair color, skin color, the sex of a character, because we don't conform to the uber woke politically, if we take offense that a character is made transgender when they're not, or a transgender character is, look, there's times you might want to enter, you put a transgender character in there because it makes sense. It works. That's what you want. Yeah. Well, that's the impetus. But when you make turn a straight character into someone who, but again, if we cannot talk about it, if openly, and like I say on this channel, we'll talk about it. I'm not going to rip anyone down for having an opinion that I don't like the race swapping on this. I don't like this on that. It's fine. Yeah. Good chance I'll agree with you. Well, these are opinions that we're allowed to have, and we have to be able to discuss without consequence. Without consequence. Commander! Anyone who has Zen in their day. Oh shit. Makes me cringe so hard that it pulls me back to the 90s. Remember when Zen was the California craze of choice? But I blame that shit on her parents. Well, could be. I mean, that's the timeline, right? You can't, but you got to be fair. You can't judge someone by their name, right? That's look, my parents gave me Danny. I had no choice. It wasn't a choice, right? I mean, I honestly think that there are who Zendaya decided to marry says a lot about her. It does. I think it does. Cheers, Mike. But I loved me some Eric Bana Hulk. Did you? It was a different kind of Hulk. If he had hulked out at the right moment, he would have kicked Brad Pitt's ass. You're talking about Troy, right? You're talking. Maybe hold on. Let me get it. I tell you, I think the last 2 weeks. Oh, that felt good. Freaking hot in here, man. I gotta do something. There's no airflow. Summer's coming. Oh my God, this is like what the hell's gonna go on? Am I gonna have to move again? That Eric Bana Brad Pitt fight in Troy was fucking good, right? That was a good fight. It's a pretty good movie. Pretty good movie too, Troy. If white established lore characters can be race swapped, then so can Black Panther. Theoretically, why? Right? Why not? I mean, he takes off his hood. Tom Holland. What the fuck? Are you Black Panther too? Yeah, I'm Spiderman. I utterly hate the race swapping with a passion. I think most people do, though. Ben Feister. I think most people do. I mean, I don't. The worst for me, I think the worst one for me was Rings of Power, Elf Dude. I don't remember the names, but from the actor perspective, you know what? The actor's going to take the role. It's a fucking good role, you know? But when you take a look at the elves from the original Lord of the Rings, in terms of what their description is, right? Even just the way they come across, they're almost magical. Even in Dungeons and Dragons, right? Elves had sort of that, that magical kind of, and of course that comes right from Norse mythology. I am a huge Norse mythology guy. So Lord of the Rings is basically Norse mythology disguised as something else. Even one of the elf languages, guys, newsflash, one of the elf languages that Tolkien wrote is basically Old Norse. It's all of the Old Norse runes, and he added 2. And he turned that into basically back when he was a linguistics guy or whatever. Do you think he ever thought that all this would come on the internet and everyone would be able to have access to it? One of his elf languages is basically just Old Norse. Like some of this stuff, and the more you like Yggdrasil, the tree of life, it's the same as the elf trees. You have what's his name? Odin had the ring. I forgot the ring's name. It made 9 every 9 days it made a ring. 9 rings, right? The whole you could look. Elves and dwarves are right from that's elf. That is Norse mythology. Elves and dwarves are Norse mythology. Trolls are Norse mythology. Dragons are Norse mythology. You get into you go deep into Norse mythology. Deep into Odin. Gandalf is basically Odin to a T. Right to the right to the Gandalf is an Old Norse name that means elf with a wand. Every dwarf name in the 13 dwarves in the Hobbit were in the Prose Edda. Every base Durin is in the Prose Edda. It is a Norse name of a dwarf. All these freaking dwarf names. Look, Lord of the Rings are my favorite one, up there with my favorite movies. Okay, favorite movies, guys. But as a lover of Norse mythology, and the fact that I'm probably part Norse, probably got some of them going on. It is a matter of fact. And when people talk about Tolkien, they always say, "Oh, he's making, he's what's the word they use? Everyone else steals it or rips off, except Tolkien. A lot of it is not original, guys, and it's like talked about like it's original. It's not. So if you are from Norway, Sweden, or Copenhagen, Denmark, those are the three main Norse countries with the Norse. You're like, holy fuck, they just took our entire fucking culture. Tolkien just took our entire fucking culture and made it his own. They fucking stole our entire freaking history. And of course, the whole idea of the Ring was the play, the Wagner play, which was the most popular play at the time. The Ring of Power, right? The play, the Wagner play, The Ring of Power, which was the most popular play. Called The Ring of Power. Just happened to be The Ring of Power. Look, there's a lot of things, you guys, and I know I love Tolkien. I love Lord of the Rings. I'm just saying and the list goes on, and the list goes on. It goes on. I know. Ooh, I felt good. Then there's literally hundreds of Black, Hispanic, White, Ginger, Asian make original characters that plays into established comic lore, and I'm completely fine with that. Of course, yes. And everybody is, right? It's the changing. That goes right to Captain America, right? What's his name? Sam Wilson getting Captain America's shield. It's like he's a normal human being who wears a jetpack. That's all the Falcon is. He's a normal human being that wears a jetpack. I like, what's his name? The other guy that was in Thunderbolts. He was also in the TV show Falcon and Winter Soldier. What's his name? The other guy. I like him. And what I loved in the Winter Soldier was when he killed that guy. Were you telling me how many people have the freaking superheroes killed? And all of a sudden, dude is going to feel bad about killing one guy who was basically as a murderer how many times over? That is when I said, I like this fucking guy. I like this guy. What was his name? Why can I not remember his name? You know what I'm talking about, right? This is some good shit. We're having some good. This is good stuff. Thunderbolts. Oh my God. John Walker. Is it John Walker? What's his name? No. Why am I total brain fart? Yeah, John Walker. Yeah, Wyatt Russell. I don't know. It's right there, right in front of me. Always was. When it literally came to his big problem that people started, like, he's all of a sudden an anti-hero because he killed that guy. I was like, oh, fucking right on. I could get to like this guy. Yeah, I could get to like this guy. I like John Walker. I do. I like Bucky Barnes. I mentioned it last. I tell you, the last year, I didn't like Bucky. I didn't appreciate Bucky Barnes as much as I do now. I like Bucky Barnes. I like the actor. I like. I didn't read that. Plenty of diverse superheroes in comics of many races that would absolutely root for to be successful. I simply ask film studios to stop race swapping established lore characters. I don't think they will. I think they'll do it to a degree because they're losing so much money. I'm such a sober dope. I thought Apple Crown was a reference to the Fassaways from A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Snape, yes, Ben Feister, Snape. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very much. A redheaded ginger. Isn't that redundant? It's like a blonde bimbo or a nice Canadian. I have a Canadian social. I have a Canadian social and a US social. I swing both ways. I always tell people after 20 years in Los Angeles, people always say, "Oh, you Canadians are so nice." I say, "Well, for me, first off, I've been here a long time, even though I did grow up in Canada. Canada does have jails. Yeah, there's murderers in Canada. There's a lot more in the United States. A lot more. People ask me, what city do I live in? You know what city I live in? I'll give you a hint. It's the cleanest city. It's the cleanest city in North America. That's where I had to move. I moved back to the cleanest city in North America. After 20 years in shit Los Angeles, I moved back to the cleanest city in North America. For me, as a correctional officer, you're a correctional officer? I'm blunt in my honesty at times, so I don't care if I'm being honest. No, hey, like, man, here at Pop Rageous, my friend, you are like, say what you want. I mean, as long as it's not, we know there's some lines. We crossing some lines. That's all of this stuff is open for conversation. All of it. And I will not judge anybody. Even if you no, it's good. Ben Feister, it's good. And I bet you 90% of people will say, no, it's the second when people start coming in here and they start being offended by it, okay, well, that's probably doing some good stuff. Well, Mary Jane is a redhead in the Spider-Man comics. Yeah, and I think she was with I think she's always been redhead, right? A redheaded ginger? Hey, some people, that's what, that's their thing, right? Pam, what's your hair color? Pamela? You got your peach crown? What's your hair color? I just rewatched the first Toby Spider-Man. Great movie. Is my audio okay, guys? I changed my audio. Tell me if my audio. I'm still trying to get my audio right because now I'm going through OBS instead of the Rodecaster. I'm still trying to get it right. So let me know if my audio is okay. I just first Toby Spider-Man. I'll say this about Kristen Dunst. She was red all over. What do you mean? Oh, don't get me started on Rings of Power. I know we get the moment I saw the new depiction of Elrond, I know. Look, I can't wait till it comes out because there's going to be some good freaking Poprageous episodes. There will be some good Poprageous episodes. Seeing Galadriel or Guy Ladriel, I think Senior Gary Beekler dubbed her Guy Ladriel. I like that one. Guy Ladriel. I mean, the biggest bastardization of any character, talk about an iconic female character, right? That is what is irritating. It's not just the race swapping. It is the utter abandonment of what a character is and what she represents. Etc. Yeah, that can fuck off. No, that's right. That's all kinds of nope. I hate Rings of Power. I I love watching these people look like asses. That's what I like. I mean, the whole depiction of Sauron, I mean, is it just not an absolute bastardization of Sauron? The Rings of Power, if there's anything that is the two characters that are, well, three? I mean, okay, it's all the characters, but it's Elrond, Galadriel, and Sauron. You guys didn't even freaking come close to these characters. Like you're trying to throw a fastball across the plate, but you threw it 10 feet to the right. Like you didn't even come close with these characters. Did you read the Silmarillion or like, you know, the trilogy books? Did you even read them? Tolkien stole from the Vikings, but the Scandinavians gave us Sisu, so we're even. It's true. That's true. That's true. I guess we're even. That's true. Yeah. Damn. Tough crowd. The showrunners of Rings of Power literally admitted that they are not trying to follow Tolkien's lore at all and trying to create their own story. At that point, Rings of Power is not LOTR, period. And it's also, what's his name? The grandson of Tolkien was on there, and he's saying he approves. He approves. I guess because he got the $500 million paycheck, I guess. I mean, I'll throw Grandpa's shit under the bus. If you're going to give me $500 million, sure. Who cares? I'm a big Tolkien guy, as you already knew. If you're a big Norse guy, you should. If you haven't yet, it's long but worth it. Watch full God of War Ragnarok. Play through from a screen. The video game, right? I actually, one of my screenplays is about TV shows. It is actually my most winningest full 10 episode. Actually, I wrote 15 episodes, and it won film festival, the largest of film festivals, from Singapore to Greece to Berlin to Sweden to Los Angeles, everywhere. People still ask me. I get emails. Do you want to put? And it's called Legends. I always, every day, I get one or two emails. Hey, did you want to submit Legends in? We loved Legends, and they give me a free code to submit it. And of course, I don't, because if I've already won it once or twice, I don't want to do it again. And then, of course, you get it out there too much, it becomes fuck. There it is again. So. If I do some rewrites, but yes, I did do research into God of War Ragnarok for that TV script, that TV show I wrote. The Rings of Power is fan fiction generated by an AI agent trained exclusively by Simone de Beauvoir. Simone. Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. The French existentialist. So why do I not know? Why do I not know this name? This name is. All right. Blonde. Pamela's a blondie. Pamela's a blondie with her peach crown. I have one thing to say to that. We're gonna get to the Dune. We're gonna get to the Dune trailer here pretty fast. I'm bland. 807. Do you need season? Yes, I need the whole spice rack. Funny enough, I met Kristen Dunst. She's a sweetheart. When me and my father met her on Hollywood Street, she was a sweetheart. Cool. I'm here. I can't keep up with you boys. Oh, you can. Oh, fuck, you can. Well, you don't. Pamela. Ben Feister, for me, I'm writing, if I'm writing Lord of the Rings series, I would go to the First Age with the rise and fall of Numenor and establish Elrond, Aragorn, and Sauron's origins and lineage story. Yes, and spend the time. Like, they're just racing through shit. Like, so much of this stuff should... I mean, so much of the stuff that is in Rings of Power... Like, some of the stuff that they cover should be, and it should be its own series. The whole, like, Numenor all to itself, like the rise of the, the whole idea of the, like, I mean, granted, I have not finished the Silmarillion. And if there's anything, like, as a writer, you tend not to read much as a writer, because when you write something, it takes 30 or 40 times as long to write something as it does to read something. And you don't want to be tainted by someone else's work. But Ben Feister, I agree with you. I agree. Look, there's so much stuff. A good storyteller, a good writer. Now, when it comes to lore, you can't fuck around. You can't fuck around with Lord of the Rings lore, right? It's not like you could go through and start changing it, because it is biblical. It's equivalent to like a biblical kind of, people look at it as, don't fuck with my Elrond. I mean, the haircuts, the hairdos on Rings of Power. It's like if you went through the elf town, there'd be like a hair salon, and every second place would be like Elrond's hair place. Guy Ladriel's hair and nails. I mean, the hair is terrible. What the fuck are you? The Buffon, like. Ben Feister, yeah, the God of War gaming franchise. For me, God of War doesn't need a TV or film series. The games themselves are the TV or film series. And I think when they were talking about doing a film or a TV show about it, that's kind of what I think the screenplay style is, because the screenplay style is that good. A great writer or great writing in a video game will make all the difference, right? It'll make all the difference. Ben Feister, I agree. Believe me, a story like Lord of the Rings, it needs to be taken with insane care. Peter Jackson nailed it. I don't know if he could make that same movie today, because the Rohirrim one, remember the anime cartoon one, the Rohirrim? Oh shit, that didn't work out. But it's not like that was a surprise. They changed the lore so bad. Peter Jackson did a damn good job, just not perfect. Some people will call it perfect. If you try and change stuff, you could actually make it worse. I thought he did pretty good, very good in extracting the story components that made sense to doing, like 7-8 hours of movie screen time. Look, it's never a 10. There's never a 10. And I think everyone's got some ideas that maybe this, maybe that. Maybe this actor might have been better. Maybe it's all fair. It's all fair, because that's the discussion of it. That's the fun of just talking about it. We want to talk about it, right? I mean, that's what we do. Talk about this shit, right? Simone de Beauvoir was Jean-Paul Sartre's girlfriend. She was a proto-feminist in France, right? French. Francois, right? See? No surprise, Sartre's famous work is Nausea. One episode of The Rings of Power had me reaching for the Pepto-Bismol. Look, the very first episode, you remember the first episode with the little sailing boat and the rocks and all? Oh my fucking God. Holy shit. Let's get to guys, can we do fucking Dune? Dune. So Dune 3, I don't know what you guys, I love Dune. I love the first movie. You got a full crown over there, Mike? You got enough apple crown? Pamela, you got some peach crown? I'd like to see some like video of Pamela and And Mike sitting there with their peach and apple crown, sort of, cheersing and drinking. Dune 3, my friends. I liked the first one. I liked the second one. I really like the second one. And I think I'm going to love the third one. They are bringing in what? Oh, let's close that off. You got to pronounce this right? The Thelaxu, right? That's what's his name is playing, and that's how. Well, actually, before I start talking about it, there's a lot of moving parts to this thing. To me, Denis Villeneuve is freaking awesome. I love Denis Villeneuve. I love his style. I think he's a master. Denis Villeneuve is a master of understanding. So when you are directing or you're a cinematographer and a director are two different things, right? Obviously, the director is the conductor. She conducts everything. The cinematographer is the expert with lenses, with the lighting, with the camera shots. Now, the director has to have a very good idea because he's going to work with the cinematographers to get the shots that he wants. Denis Villeneuve is a master of understanding what's in that screen. And I think Dune 3, from what I see, it's again going to be up for Oscars. For all those things that it continually wins for. I think this is going to be a masterpiece. I fucking do. I do. I know not everyone agrees, but you need to know a little bit about the Dune universe to truly appreciate it. You do. What's his name? Duncan, Idaho. Duncan is back. And of course, because of the Danny, shut up and just let's watch some of the trailer.
If we have a girl, what will we name her?
Her name should be Ganima. She would need to be strong, like her mother.
That was the initial dream. Remember the first one? That was his. And of course, Paul Atreides, his big thing is Paul Atreides has the power of foresight, right? And it's one of the things that is a theme in this one, that the idea of prophecy is the limiting factor of what allows true options to emerge when you're such a believer in prophecy. But anyway, this is part of the.
What if it's a boy?
I would name him Leto. So he would have the wisdom of his grandfather.
And so that's kind of, because at the end of the second one, we saw, what's her name? Achani leave on the worm, right? She go up. And look, you couldn't do what they did in the books. You had to. Tension in a movie is so critical. You're not going to end that movie with everything works out great and everyone's lovey-dovey. You need to end it with tension. And I know some people that were like really deep into the lore were upset about that. Well, no, they didn't. Well, when you're adapting stuff, this is one of these examples. When you're adapting stuff, what works in the book is not going to work in the movies. And how this results. So there was a few things like, the idea of that where they're merging the old Atreides with the ring. Chani wants to use a Atreides name if it's a boy. Paul wants to use a Furman name if it's a girl. So they're kind of, it's a mixing of cultures.
War feeds on itself.
This is so cool. I mean, the scene. It's so cool.
The more I fight, the more enemies fight back.
And so Rebecca Ferguson is obviously back. I love Rebecca Ferguson. I do. I love Rebecca Ferguson. She is so good. She is such an amazing face actress. So good with her face. And I think in the books, because this is based on the second book, she goes away. But there's, the Bene Gesserit are obviously an integral part of the entire series. This is, of course, the Emperor's daughter, or the former Emperor's. What's her name? Pogue? Robert Pattinson. Now and I think this is really important. He is one of the Talaxu, the Bene Talaxu, also known as, or the Tylax, known as the Talaxu. They're a secretive, highly influential, and despised faction of Frank Herbert's Dune universe, and they basically get into genetic manipulation. And this is really important with Duncan, Idaho. Do you think, well, how the fuck does Duncan, Idaho come back? Well, but this is with the Talaxu, they are into genetic manipulation. They utilize axolotl tanks to create golas, artificially created humans, which they grow from dead cells and engineer other biological products. They're face dancers, or they're shapeshifters, and that's basically what Robert Patterson's character is. These are genetically modified servants and workers created by the Talaxu, capable of mimicking anyone perfectly, often used for espionage. So it's the first time we get to see them in the third and final installment. Talaxu masters are often described as having small, close-set eyes and pointed teeth, and they are generally xenophobic, referring to outsiders as Pawinda, derogatory for non-believers. They are religious zealots who, despite their questionable ethics, often hold a distorted fanatical faith. So it's basically what's his name played Elvis. What's his name? Damn. He's a good actor. I mean, Austin Butler, thank you. Fade Rotha, thank you. Austin Butler. Robert Pattinson is kind of like the Austin Butler of this one, right? He comes in as the new antagonist, and they've got it. So I wanted to. So that is the Talaxu. Like, this is what he looks good. Like, when I thought Robert Pattinson, really? All right.
I'm doing the best I can to protect my family. How did Father do it?
Your father never started a war.
So I do like the idea of Duncan, Idaho coming back. I'm glad they added that, they put that part in. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and this is what, and I think that's what a lot of people don't appreciate. Even the second one, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of consideration that you need to give to a lot of different, not races, but societies, right? And Denis Villeneuve does a particularly excellent job in demonstrating who these people are, making them believable as to the original lore, while still creating an entertaining piece of visual. Can I say the word art? I hate using that word. I do. Art. That's Anya. That's what's the I think she's going to be pretty good too, right? You have to go back to the Anya Taylor-Joy, Aaliyah Atreides. God, there's so many names. You just got to you got to just check, otherwise you're like, you know. The visuals are freaking awesome. They are. There he is, Duncan. Now, in the books, he's a kick-ass fighter, and I think Jason Momoa play a perfect casting choice. I'm actually glad that they do, bring his character back, because he is brought back by the oh man, I could never remember their name, Tlaxu. And apparently, I'm not giving anything away that's already kind of out there. When you're brought back, when you're from, cells from the dead, because they're genetic masters, these guys. The person is a perfect clone, but they tend not to remember who they were. But apparently, Duncan starts getting some of his senses of who he was back slowly, a little bit. Probably bits and pieces. From a screenwriting perspective, as a screenwriter myself, I'd say, yeah, that's the stuff that makes things juicy, because you could add slivers of storylines with that. I don't know how Denis Villeneuve is going to do it. I'm very interested from a screenwriting perspective to see what Denis Villeneuve is going to do with all of this stuff. So much to work with. The characters all the characters look fabulous. Again, the special effects are going to rage. And
I'm not afraid to die.
And this is, I think, that at the end, we get end the pretty boy. Give us a little bit of kick-ass Timothy Chalamet, right? Put down the ping pong racket. Put down the ping pong racket. Pick up the knife. I love me a little bit of shaved Timothy Chalamet.
But I must not die. Yet.
Awesome. December 18th, my friends. And that I think that is a long ways away. It's 9 months. Holy shit, it's like 9 months yesterday. Nine months. It's spring. It's spring tomorrow. Friday, March 20th. Hear ye, hey, hear ye. March 20th, 2026 is the first day of astronomical spring in the northern hemisphere. Guys, winter, can you believe it? Winter is over. It's over. So, where did we end off here? I think we get there. We did that. We want to get to, for me. Yeah, Tom. Just to go back pre-Dude. For me, certain events didn't make sense. Excuse me, Lord of the Rings, like Tom Bombadil. The scourging of the Shire was always a foreshadowing, or a foreshadowing the Fellowship of the Ring. The whole character of Tom Bombadil, as interesting as it is, were those the nights he was drinking scotch by the fire? Yo, Dune is another popcorn flick franchise for me. It's great. I fucking love Dune. I do. I love as being a screenwriter, someone who's been in the business. What Denis Villeneuve does is fucking awesome. Anakin Skywalker would have been a lousy Lisan al-Gaib for one. He didn't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. It does. Do not have sex in the sand, as any girl will tell you. Rebecca Ferguson is a great face actor, and the rest of her ain't bad either. Oh, fucking, right? I love me Rebecca Ferguson. She was great in Mission Impossible, and she is great in Dune, my friends. Amazing face actress. And you guys got to think. So, you're sitting there, you're acting. I don't know if any of you guys have done any acting. But you got to think, right? So the director, you got lights everywhere, camera, everyone's in your face, especially with a close up, right? Everyone's in your face. Lights are in your face. The boom's in your face. Your microphone is right here because it's like everything's in your freaking face. Lights and you're, this entire, they want to do all the close up face shots for this particular scene. And it's a well-known saying that all movies are told from this frame. That's where the story of the movie is told from this frame. And when you're an actor, and they've got obviously they have technology. They have to put the camera right in your face. But to know that you're being shot like that, it's difficult. It really is. I don't know if so it really takes, the actors have really got to be on their game when they're doing that shit. I recently seen Dune last week. I'm late on everything. Pamela, that's okay. The first one or the second one? I'm going to have to refresh myself on those two. I'm going to have to. Oh, the Rings of Power, white scrawny Sauron is in Dune? No. No. No, okay, the Vander, they're xenophobic, so they don't like Zen either. Yeah. Oh. The dude in white with the white blonde hair looks like Sauron from Rings of Power. That's Rob Patterson. Batman, the Batman 2. That's coming out. What is that? 2 months from now? Batman 2? I wasn't a big fan of the first one. The first Batman guys were up. I wasn't. It was a glorified detective show. I mean, I thought like the last third was fucking boring. I mean, I thought that's just me. He looks like that monk from the Da Vinci Code. He does, man. He does. That guy. That was what's his name? Wasn't it from the Da Vinci Code? Great movie. If you guys have not seen the Da Vinci Code, oops. You've got to watch the Da Vinci Code. What a great movie. Only 6.7. I thought it was. I think I might know why that is. Was it? What was his name? Right? Paul Bettany. Right? It was Paul Bettany. Vision. Wasn't it? Yeah. Of course it was. Yeah, that's trying to remember his name. It was Vision. Yeah. He did great in that. Like that was that's a great piece of movie making. Yeah, I act all the time when I'm behind the walls pretending. I give a shit about offenders banter. Well, yeah. But for Dune 3, I like what I see. For Spider-Man, A Brand New Day, I like what I see. It looks like a good trailer. It looks like there's going to be some good emotional pieces. Tom Holland, this is where Tom Holland also really excels. He excels in delivering the emotional payoff. He's a sympathetic actor, so it's easy to sympathize with the way he acts. It's kind of like Keanu Reeves. Fans are able to sympathize just because of the way he acts out his character. There's a certain, style that he has. So I think both of these movies might do pretty good. For Da Vinci Angels and Demons was my fave of that. Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was okay. I mean, they were both okay. It's been a while since I watched them both. I reflect back and I just remember Da Vinci Code being, that inside sort of gut feeling that I like that one better. But you know what? They're both good. I think they're both good. For sure, they're both good. So those are the trailers. 2 trailers. They both landed last week, so there we go. So there are some good movies coming, guys. There are some good movies coming. Ooh, my headache went away. First time in 2 days. Could be the red wine. Could be the red wine. I only had like half a glass today. One Piece. The third Da Vinci, Dante's Inferno, was dope as hell. I'm trying to think, you watch so many movies, and I think, did I watch it? I'm sure I did. Oh boy, One Piece, here we go. Here we go, One Piece, all right? So, I can't remember. Are you a fan of One Piece, Ben Feister? Paul Brittany, love the guy. I have cautious optimism for the upcoming Vision Quest series due to the presence of Terry Matalas. I will admit, I cannot. Oops. I can't. I can't offer too much of an opinion on that. I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm a bit. I am a bit just not as familiar with One Piece, but it's growing on me. The biggest, I think this has got to be said. This has to be said. The whole Netflix format of dropping every episode. To drop every episode. I mean, it's been 2 weeks and the talk is over. It's over. Like it's kind of like I was gonna do some stuff. It's like I don't feel the One Piece buzz. The One Piece buzz was over like last week. And yeah, there's a couple of nights where I talked about it. I think that the characters are really interesting. I also watched the anime. I think I mentioned I watched the anime. I'm not an anime fan. I'm not. I'm not an anime cartoon fan. I'm not an anime book fan. I'm not an anime. It's a clear example with do I care if it's like I have no idea whether it's like the manga or not, nor do I care because I know nothing about it. I mean, that's just true. But this is the same as 95% of everybody who's going to watch One Piece. Maybe 90%, 87%. Because I do know the One Piece, it's popular, right? Oh, you think so? You think they're overplaying their hand with One Piece? Well, I mean, it's giving dividends, right? I mean, it's Oh, okay. You know what? Oh, geez. What did I have? Where? Tyler Sue, dude. Project Hail Mary. Where is my? Oh, geez. I thought I had. Where's I had an entire article ready to go. Oh, geez. Domestic box office, Spiderman, Avatar, stuff. Brand New Day, Avatar, stuff. Shoot. Where is it? Was it on? Hold up here. Hold up. We'll Oh, there it is. There. Okay, there. Yeah. Okay. Let me I'll remove this. Let me share screen with One Piece. And this is basically Geeks and Gamers. Some people don't like Geeks and Gamers. I don't mind Geeks and Gamers. Yes, they come at things from a particular perspective, but more often than not, I agree with their perspective. And it's also a new site, so you know what? I don't mind. What's his name? Jeremy, right? I don't mind helping out Jeremy. You know? A lot better than that other BS you got to read from those other websites. So you know what? I like helping the little guy. One Piece Season 2. Make sure we got everything set up properly. Oops. Oh, whoa. Hold on there. Where are we here? Come on. Jeez. Okay. Let me move that like this. And then, okay, here we go. So One Piece Season 2 ratings. So it's all about the rating. We're going to touch the rating. 16.8 million views in the first 4 days, down slightly from Season 1. So those are pretty good numbers, though, overall. Like, those are not bad. One Piece Season 2 is a ratings hit, but not quite as big as the first season, as the Netflix show's viewership dropped slightly this season. Debuting on March 10th, and can you believe that? March 10th, not even 2 weeks ago. And it's dropping out of the zeitgeist. This is so stupid. Literally, if you would have released, you would have been 2 episodes in, and everyone would be talking about it. It is mind-blowing to me. It doesn't make any sense. It comes and goes. It's forgotten. 2-3 weeks. Or Stranger Things. Is Stranger Things on anyone's radar? That thing fell out 2-3 weeks. Gone. All that. The entire season, debuting on March 10th and dropping the entire season at once is what's now called the binge model. Well, that's not now called. Like, it's always been called. And the binge model developed from when the streamer was, especially when Netflix would pick up old TV shows, right? And they'd put on 10 seasons. It was based on old TV shows, just doing 10 seasons. There you go. 150 episodes. Binge it. There's no new episodes coming out. It's just all old stuff. But that whole model just progressed into the new TV shows. Now called the binge model? We just started calling it the binge model? Bro, that's like 2.5 decades. 2 decades. One Piece Season 2 got 16.8 million views in its first 4 days, according to Variety. That was more than enough to make the most watched show on Netflix for the next week and put it well ahead of its stiffest competition, with the second place winner, The Dinosaurs, Season 1. Hey, I've never heard of that one. I'm kind of interested in that one. Receiving 9.6 million views, One Piece's numbers equates to 136.2 million hours viewed in its first 4 days. One Piece Season 2, well, there you go. There's your little tidbit from Variety. However, these One Piece However, these One Piece season 2 ratings are a step down from season 1, which had 18.5 million views or 140 million hours watched in its first 4 days. Hours watched is, I think season 2 is better than season 1. Granted, it's not much and still a huge success, but it's interesting that the numbers went down slightly, particularly for a show as popular as One Piece. It was also viewed less than the number 1 movie on Netflix, War Machine. War Machine was so average, right? We talked about War Machine on Thursday. War Machine was an utter 6, a total 6. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. And my biggest, and like I say, the biggest issue was with that. Was why did you not care for anything? Why was there no tension? Because they didn't introduce the antagonist until about the 45-minute mark. There was we didn't see any invasion pre that. We didn't know anything. The antagonist was a terribly written antagonist. A war machine, one of those war machines should have been responsible for killing, at the very, very I don't know if you guys seen it. Why would you have, and what's his name? Should have caught a glimpse of the war machine that he saw that did some sort of robot just attack and kill us all as he goes running off with his brother. You got to introduce the antagonist right fucking away, man. Terrible screenwriting. Terrible. Like, it's bad screenwriting. Fuck. And the crazy thing is, like, myself, any of the screenwriters that I know, my friends, the first thing they point out, like, where are you, be like, I'm trying to, like, you're not introducing the antagonist till, like, page 45. That's a fucking problem. It's a freaking problem. It's a fucking problem. You're spending your first 45 minutes on the internal conflict and nothing on the main external conflict. So when we get to it 45 minutes in, it means nothing. It means nothing. Sorry. A 6 might be too high for War Machine. Yeah, it's got big bombs and boom booms. Do you ever feel tense? You ever feel like, oh my, no, not once. You don't fucking care. Because they don't establish it enough for anyone to care. If you like just big explosions and, oh, look at how big boom bang, the story was shit. Some of the effects, like the special effects, the characters, the broken bones, the burns, that was good. They did a good job. A really good job. Starring Alan Ritchson, which had 44.4 million views. But they get worse star for that stuff, right? Can we just have a little bit of, like, male-inspired kick-ass TV? Well, that's what it is. But the screenplay could have been so much better. Over double One Piece's season 2's total, which is that's a lot. However, this can be attributed to the shorter length of a movie. That's true. A TV show, as the film has 80.6 million hours watched compared to One Piece season 2's 136.2 million. One Piece debuts. It's possible that as much as audiences seem to have embraced One Piece, some viewers didn't care for season 1. That was me. And decided to skip season 2. That wasn't me. In his review of season 1, the Critical Drinker said that while he loves the show, it's not for everybody. Particularly people who are not into that kind of highly stylized, over-the-top method of storytelling. It's spectacle driven, but I think the spectacle stood on top of the story a lot in season 1. In season 2, the story and the spectacle were kind of woven in a lot better. And a lot of people aren't going to like. I typically don't like kind of that goofy, over-the-top spectacle. But the only way, based on what I've saw from the cartoon, the manga, that's what it is, right? So they did a pretty good job keeping it real, if that's the right way to say it, keeping it real. Chopper. I love Chopper. Chopper rocked. I love Chopper. It's also fair to note that season 1 dropped on Netflix August 31st. See, that's a big deal. When kids were still out of school for the summer, so there was a wider audience available during during more of each day. One Piece Season 2 may have dipped in ratings because it was sandwiched between winter and spring breaks. That's actually a very big deal. That's a very big deal. Because I was going to ask, what about the timing, right? What's the timing? One Piece Season 2 will also have an opportunity to improve its ratings, not to imply that they're bad, that they're not, they're quite good, especially if it follows a similar trajectory to Season 1. And its second week, Season 1's ratings went up to 19.3 million, and I think that's going to happen with Season 2, and 145.7 hours viewed. And while the increase is due to its having the entire week rather than just 4 days, the fact that it's kept its numbers so high means it wasn't front loaded. More people discovered it while others watched it again. Perhaps the same will be true of the One Piece Season 2, especially with all the attention it's getting. Easily, what's his name? Inouye Dugoi, this guy? Monkey D. Luffy? I mean, he's great job with that character. And well written, over the top. It would be hard for me to write a character like that. I'm not sure if I could. Maybe I could if I knew the source material. 'Cause again, you got to know the source material to understand the character, and so you can put that character on screen. If One Piece continues to draw in lots of viewers, Netflix may have its first viable replacement for the now kaput Stranger Things. Stranger Things Season 5, from the very first 4 episodes. And look, I was adamant it wasn't good. And everywhere I watched, people were saying, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Are you fucking kidding me? It was able to develop that fan base for so many reasons, and it wasn't because of great storytelling. It wasn't. It was really interesting characters, and there's just something that you can't point to with Stranger Things. And Season 5 wasn't like it's jeez. Had lower viewership in its first season than One Piece did, and it's just broke records with Season 5. Then again, Stranger Things Season 2 did better than its first. So anyway, that is there you go. That is where I just want some. There we go. That is One Piece. I don't know. So there's the making of One Piece that came out. I might watch that. I don't know if that's part of, I mean, let me see what you guys are saying, because I don't know if too many of you guys are really into it, right? Where are we here? Vivander, Terry Matalas was a showrunner for. Oh, yeah, right. Thank you. I need to be reminded of these things. So thank you very much, Vivander. Thank you. While he was light years better than the last 20 years of Trekish, of course he was. Picard sucked. The Season 3 was. I got to watch Season 3 again. Note to self. I did a video short on the Spore Drive. On the Spore Drive. Ben Feister, I know you were a Star Trek, but the fucking Spore Drive, right? Is there anything like the Spore Drive? There, giant tardigrades in space, right? What do you eat in space? You're an organic creature living in space. What do you eat? Do you go hunting? You're just floating around. You just float. I don't know the fucking. And then the whole so I did a little short on the Spore Drive. I mean, basically they were trying to take something from Dune, right? A little bit of Dune, that they had to have organics, like the Guild Navigators. They were trying to take, so because look, Alex Kurtzman, Star Trek has no fucking original thought. There's no original thought in freaking Kurtzman Trek. It's just because none of them are science fans. If you love science, you have to love science to be a good science fiction writer. You do, because I don't like rom-com, so I wouldn't be good at writing a rom-com. If you ask me to write a rom-com, you get the scripts, you go, okay, wait a sec, what are a fifth dimensional being enters them, but yeah, it's kind of like a rom-com with science fiction. Like, I don't know, we're just, that's what I do, right? That's what I do, science fiction. But anyway, I did so like a 1 minute short on the Spore Drive. Yeah, that explains One Piece. My younger sister is more into manga anime fan than I am. Yeah, I try to watch the cartoon. Like, fuck it. No, I got way better things to do than this. Like anything else. Like I understand why I've never liked anime. I never have. It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I do not like it. I just don't like it. It doesn't. I mean, watch DBZ, Full Metal Alchemist, Naturo every so often, but I'm manga anime fan. I think most people are. It's a generational thing, right? Streaming shows are best doled out like good drugs, slowly and incrementally. I agree. If you drop an 8-episode bag of One Piece opiates on my lap, I'll be dead by morning. Yeah, shit. Well, what a waste. 9 days. It's been out for 9 days. And the talk is over. Like, we're talking about One Piece and everyone's like, wasn't this like a long time ago? Yes, it was 9 days ago. Netflix, are you freaking like what? It's incredible. I think it's just incredible. I will say James Cameron's Alita Battle Angel was spot on and very well. I didn't mind it. It didn't do as well as some people thought it would, though, right? The Alita manga was great as well, just very underrated. I saw bits of it. It was better. Yeah. I agree with Vander. Well, I agree Ben Feister. Okay, little circle jerk of agreeing. I was going to say, where the hell's Pamela? Pamela's coming up. She's a... Netflix needs to get better than 3+ years between seasons. Yes. Pathetic. Remember when they used to do like 24 episodes every year? Every year, 24 episodes. That's what they used to do. Oh, times. And the times, they're all a-changing. Watchmen, right? Watchmen. The times, they're all a-changing. A little bit of Bob Dylan going on at the end there of a little Watchmen. I did end up watching Watchmen again. When did I threaten to watch it again? Was it last Saturday? I watched it on Sunday again. I did. Zack Snyder, he's capable of great stuff as long as he's not writing the shit. Rebel Moon, get your paws off of the pen. Go. Like, when the script is ready, we'll give it to you. Zach, go work on like production shit. That's a Zack Snyder movie. Watchmen. I know we've been talking about the Watchmen for like 2 or 3 weeks, it seems. I think. I don't like AM. I don't like AM. Oh, someone's getting into the peach crown. Pamela, young lady. Anime. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. No, I think it's a generational thing, right? It's like, I don't know. It's not my thing. Some of them are kind of interesting. And I don't begrudge. I understand why someone will like it. I'm going to put this onto the, it's the grab bag time. There we go. Vander, watching anime makes me feel like I'm trying to steal a few minutes to watch Saturday morning cartoons before my parents catch me. I remember that. I remember waking up at like, I don't know what it was, because especially on Saturdays, right? Sundays, back when I was growing up, there was a lot of church programming. It was just, oh my God, why would you do this to little kids? Play more cartoons on Sunday. But back in the 70s, on a Sunday, all morning would be church programming. I don't know if you guys remember. This was back in the days of vacuum tubes. It was a bad time. And almost everything was closed on Sundays. Almost everything. But I would wake up and I watch everything from Iron Man. Remember the old Iron Man cartoon to Hey Herc, Hercules. Hey Herc, hey Herc. Then there was Spiderman. There was the Justice League. There was all these cartoons. Yeah, that I would wake up early too. And I mean, my parents never. The fact that we got up early as kids, my parents didn't mind, as long as it wasn't loud enough to wake them up. And Chopper was awesome. Chopper was fucking cool. I love Chopper. I also like the fact that Peggy Bundy was Chopper's guard. I know. It worked so well. There's something good about it. But Chopper was so freaking adorable. And then and you knew, but the way they wrote the character, that's what they were trying to do, right? This little dude, this cute as can be, and he had I could tell how he wrote. I said, this is exactly how I would write this character. Exactly. And then I was even thinking like, I would probably make him change to like some big tough. And of course not exactly what I was thinking, but he did turn into the big freaking tough guy. Oh yeah. Chopper was great. Peace out. You going to bed, Pamela? Have a good night, Pamela. Sleep tight. Have a good, sweet dreams. Yeah, the Spore Drive and Picard. Why Kurtzman? Anywhere. If I was in the room as like a science person, and you're like, okay, wait a second, what do you want to do? Are you trying to take some like stuff from Dune and mix it in with like, what are you trying to do? Because it has no basis of, and Star Trek has always had a basis of science like some sort of science plausibility. Even though there's a lot of science fiction in there, it still has this like, it's not science fantasy. It's science fiction with some plausible physics. If Pam is drinking a peach crown, then I'm drinking Sam Adams beer tonight. Cheers. Oh, all right. Well, there we go. For those who are meh on anime, have you tried Arcane? It's a Western version. Season 1 was both beautiful and brilliant. I'm going to write that down. Arcane. It's a Western anime. I'm going to write that down. Oh shit, what was I going to, what was I going to, there was something else I was going to talk about. Shoot, what was it? Did I write it down? I didn't write it down. I started talking about it in the beginning of the show. Something else I wanted to talk about. And oh dang! Why didn't I? Yeah, I was a little bit sloppy getting into this show because I didn't make all my pre-show notes. Because when you're live and you don't have like, that offset, one or two producers or someone else to bounce shit off of, like, if you got 2 or 3 people online with you, I mean, shit just becomes easier. It just does. But the fact that, we got so many great people making comments is it's freaking awesome. It makes it fun. I've heard of Arcane. It's not bad from what I saw. Oh, is it? It is spring. Did I mention, guys? It's spring tomorrow. It is spring. Dune, Spiderman. Project Hail Mary, talked about that. I got my Iran bits in. Holy fuck. I just. Oh, you know what? So here, get this, guys. Get this. This is shocking. The Iran war, because Peg Hegseth, I'll call him Peg Hegseth. He wants another $200 billion for the Iran war. So if the country is going to spend $300 billion, because you got to think we already probably spent $100 billion on all the stuff that Israel gets for free and everything else. $300 billion. Do you know how much it would cost? Every single homeless American, how much would it cost to house every single homeless American? About $20 billion a year. So basically, on what Trump is just fucking blowing on some war that makes no consequence to the United States citizen, taxpayer. We could have housed every homeless person for 15 years. For 15 years. Or we could go throw bombs in Iran. $15 years, every homeless person, but instead we'll spend 4 weeks dropping bombs and spend $300 billion. Oh, that's good. That's America first. That's make America great again. That sure is like holy shit, Trump. You didn't fucking run on that. You didn't run on any of that shit. You didn't. There's no more wars, right? No more wars. Pulling our people out of the Middle East. Pulling them out. I mean, whose bitch are you? Like someone's got a dog collar on you. Like seriously, it's $100 billion would pay for every single person who is waiting for a medical procedure in the United States. Basically, in about a few weeks of this war, you could take the money, 1/3 of it, and pay for every single American who is waiting on some sort of medical procedure to save their lives. So you could go out there and save 1 million American lives by throwing money at the problem of people that don't have enough money for surgery. They don't have enough money for this. They don't have enough money. But no, we'll just go drop, $300 billion worth of fucking bombs on literally the other side of the fucking world. Would I have voted for Trump? Hell yeah. There's no way I could have voted for Kamala. Well, what used to be 85%, it's dropping to like maybe 50%. I'm getting sick and tired of more political bullshit. It's just more political bullshit. Like how much? Stop fucking lying to people. What, not Cuba? You're going to attack Cuba? Fuck Trump. Jesus. What I felt about Trump a year ago to what I feel about now are two different things. It is. I think, and that's with a lot of people. It's with a lot of people. Oh, that's a bit of it's a touchy subject, right? I mean, if you're an Israeli Zionist, you're cursing my name. You're cursing if you're a Zionist, you're cursing my name. But how much blood? Is Israel just a bloodthirsty country where 100,000 dead Gazans isn't enough? You want to kill more? How many people do you want to fucking kill? Like, how many people do you need to fucking kill? Friends are not made this way. Nothing is better through war. Nothing. And every time that I think of a rant, I'm reminded that I need to do more cardio. But I completely agree, making guys like me live on $66K a year, barely paying my bills and paying off my house. Well, we're 300 billion is going to, because Israel wants, because Israel's got the frickin' dog collar on Trump. There are Americans that need this fucking money. Instead of the taxes that are paid, instead of going back to help the fucking taxpayer, it goes off. Why are there bases? Why even have bases in the Middle East? I know why. I know why. I'm just saying, if you're going to do things for Americans, for America and Americans, this Iran war is not a part of it. And this is why Trump is plummeting in the polls. Stupid. Anyway, and it's taking up so much air out of the room, right? It really is. And I know not everyone's going to agree. People are like, hey, look, if you're an Israeli Zionist or if you're a Christian Zionist or if you're like a secular Zionist, that's okay. That's okay. There are Americans that need this money. Americans that pay this fucking taxes. What does it help dropping bombs in fucking Iran for? The American person, the American that's fucking hurting. I know that's not really pop culture, is it? Not really pop culture. So anyway, guys, we're gonna call it a show. 2 hours and 10 minutes today. I got a little bit of my headache coming back. Danny, if you want to understand today's current Israel, you should read the Talmud. Read about Gentiles, non-Jewish people, not trying to convert, only to help to you understand Israel's bloodlust. I do understand that. I understand the and look, a lot of it goes back to the Old Testament. The Old Testament is a brutally violent, and I read it. I read the books. A lot of it goes back. But Ben Feister, you are correct. And look, a lot of Zionists are a secular Zionists, right? There are a lot of Zionists that are traditional, Jewish, but there's secular Zionists as well. But it goes back, yes. Ben Feister, I do know that, but and even if you just stay out of the religious part of it, and you don't even bring that into it, and you only say that there are Americans, there are U.S. citizens that need that. You could have paid for everyone who was waiting for life-saving surgery. You could have paid for 3 times over. 3 times over. You could have put every homeless person up in a freaking hotel for 15 years. 15 years. Where's all the homeless people? Well, we decided not to throw bombs and put the homeless people in there. But of course, government does nothing well, right? Government blows money. That's why lower taxes. The more money you can spend, the better. The more the government spends of your money, the worse off we are. And the average American or even the international citizen, no one is made safer by pounding Iran with $300 billion worth of bombs. Nobody is made safer. Nobody. But anyway, that is. I think we got everything right. So on it's Thursday. This is Thursday. This week not go by fast. Holy cow, guys! So fast. We are back on Saturday. We're gonna come back on Saturday. I hope this Iran war stops because I don't want to talk about it. I don't. But I hate the idea of war. Nothing gets solved. Hatred is just hatred. It just, you know what I mean, right? We should be talking fun shits and giggles. It is what it is. So anyway, on Saturday night, we're 2 days away from Saturday night. Pop Rageous live. It's Saturday night. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to go out and try and see Project Hail Mary. If my headaches start to, I'm not sure if I'm stuck in this in between zone. Am I getting something or if I'm not getting something? We'll find out. But we'll have plenty to talk about on Saturday. You guys enjoy your evening. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your Friday. And I will see you, Ben, Vivander, Pamela, Mike. Anyone else that has been watching in the background, thank you very much for hanging out with me and all of us. It has been fun. It's been fun. And I will see you on Saturday evening with Pop Rageous Live. It's Saturday night. I'm Danny Alex, guys. Thank you, everyone. All you guys, have a great sleep. Cheers. I'm sorry. You're still there.
Yeah, baby! Why are you not entertained?
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
You! Look at me!
Yes. What's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no...
Sex.
These go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?